Okay, good evening and welcome to this online course titled Logistics and Delivery Service Business Training under the New School Program series by Thrivewood. Uh, so, through the new school, we are trying to redefine educational system to ensure that it translates to uh, economic progress, social harmony, and personal fulfillment based on the uniqueness of the curriculum and the product design, and is programmed by Thrivewood. So, uh, for this course, our major objectives and the goals that we want to achieve are below. How to deliver without having or owning bikes. So it's possible to actually run this business without owning a single bike and then make multiple 5 to 6 figures in a month, as the case may be. And then how to acquire your own delivery bike or vehicle cheaply if you are interested in that. And how to create your quotes and pricing competitively. And how to get people with bikes and vehicles to partner with you, and where to find customers and delivery requests both online and offline, and other ways and channels of generating income in the business. And then finally, for you to join my network of delivery agents and ambassadors across the country and be able to plug in the value chain. So these and more are what we'll be hoping to achieve at the end of this training. So now we are going to be capturing like 5 major sections or segments in the course of this training. So number one is the introduction. That's where we'll talk about the overview of the course, and then every other thing that has to do with the background and the foundation. Then number two, we'll look at the corporate identity and the brand positioning for you as a brand or a business in logistics service, how to define your corporate identity and then position your brand. Then number three, I'll take you through the rudiments of advertising and pricing. Then section 4, we talk about sales, that's generating leads and converting them into sales. And then finally, I'll talk about how to manage your operations, your day-to-day activities, the processes, and how to coordinate everything. And then I'm going to introduce you to my special offer, of which you stand a chance to get many other value beyond what you've just been lectured on. Okay, we'll be proceeding fast. Okay, the background, that's section 1, what we want to discuss now: introduction and overview. So first of all, I want to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got into the logistics business. I've not always been into logistics, but I think around 2022, a couple of months after I lost my mother, I actually nursed her, and during that period of time, I was completely broke and I was out of job. I had to stay. We depended so much on aids from family members and friends to help her navigate, and still we lost her. So after we lost her, even after the burial, I was expecting that maybe from the proceeds I will get something to start up my life, but quite unfortunately I didn't have, it wasn't accessible for me. So I had to start squatting with one of my uh will I call it my friends, senior friends at the time. But what he offered me, I wasn't getting anything much from it. That's because I'm interested in teaching and education and impacting people. So I offered to be a trainer in his uh, aviation school, where I was training students on customer service, aviation customer service. So, but then the what he was paying me was very meager. So just like sometimes 2 or 3 thousand for 2 hours lecture, and then the take home couldn't take me home. In fact, I had no home. I was sleeping in the class there. So I struggled that way for a couple of months, and then even I also tried to substitute with other jobs like trying to do business registration. Okay, so uh, I it wasn't enough to sustain me at the time because the jobs weren't coming frequently. I could get one job to do business registration, maybe limited liability that cost 60,000, and then after that, before I'll get another one, it will reach like 2 months, and I would have run into debt and all that. So it was a whole lot of struggles for me during that time, even to feed or I can't really explain everything. But then after a while, I saw a training online that suggested, and I was also trying to help my father sell his soap, but still wasn't moving as expected. So I was trying to lay my hand on so many things while still believing that a breakthrough was going to come. Then one day I opted for a training online on how to run ads and make money from health products. So from there, I had to borrow 50,000, and that 50,000 I used it to pay for the training. After the training, somehow, I just saw an opportunity on one of these taxi companies like Uber. That's I've forgotten the name though. So I signed up where they were talking about being able to do deliveries without bike, being a food courier. Being that I didn't have a steady income, so I just jumped on the opportunity, and then I did the first job and I saw my money, and I did the second job and I saw my money, and then from there. Okay, so I had to do the first job, I saw my money, I did the second job, I saw my money, and from there, in a space of 3 months, I was able to clear off the or 2 months safe. I was able to clear off the money I borrowed, which the interest rate was high. I think I borrowed 100,000 and I had to pay off 150,000. And in the space of 2 or 3 months, I cleared that debt, and then I started saving up again. And in a space of 2 months, I was able to get money to get my apartment. And then, well, the rest is history because I've been able to generate multiple 5 to 6 figures from this, and then that's everything I'm going to be guiding you all through on how I started from scratch without having a single dime, being in debt and all that, and how I got out of it. And not only that, I am at least average, but I've been able to also help some other people get into this line, and they're also being able to do well for themselves in line with this. Okay, so I at the time I had some of my dad's soap products that I ran ads for on Facebook, and I was able to, in order to reduce the cost, I also had to do those deliveries myself. So I think that's one of the things that actually gave me an idea into the potentials of the logistics market and the possibilities that I could enjoy if I delved into it in full capacity. So those are one of the things that actually inspired my getting into the business, and so far it's been from one level to another level, because at least we have coverage in over, for now, 3 states. That's for intra deliveries, and we can cover way bills across the country and even international shipments Aside for courier and little services, we also offer vehicle, truck loading services and all that. So we've been able to expand in a space of 1 year. So I think I started around July 2023, and now September 2024 we have been able to generate multiple seven figures income from this. And so if I could do it, or if I can achieve that feat in a very short period of time, starting from depth, not like I was starting with zero accounts, I was starting from a place of depth, and I was able to clear my debt and still be able to hit this. And not only that, I've been able to train at least four people that are already doing very well also in this business. I believe you too can also overcome whatever challenge it is that you are facing with your financial state through this logistics and delivery service. So we proceed. Now, we need to observe the markets. What are the potentials of these markets of the logistics industry, and how did it come about? So, logistic business has always been in existence as an intermediary for uh, businesses that are dealing with products in order to reach their final consumer. So they function in the value chain as the bridge and the connector that helps to fulfill or to complete the process of the production line or production chain, so that the product moves from where it is being manufactured and gets to the final consumer. So every of the process that has to do with the movement and the organization of the transportation of those goods and materials and all that, from where it is to where it is being needed, are all in the confines of logistics. So, but then when the advent of the internet came into existence, internet and social media redefined how we live, how we transact, how we interact with each other, such that now it made the whole world to become a global village. Before then, you will need to consider proximity when you think about buying or purchasing a particular product. But in the advent of internet, you could be in China, and then you could have people seeing your products from Nigeria and they're interested in buying. So there's no more limitation to where or from who you can buy from, irrespective of where they are. So the demand and the need to fulfill these orders, or to be able to bridge the gap of making these physical products that are being purchased online to get to the final consumer, inspired or triggered the need for more logistics services and operations. So based on that, the market has really increased because of the e-commerce industry. So the e-commerce industry has facilitated the rise of the logistics service because they go in concordance. The e-commerce business talks about marketing and selling of physical products, leveraging tech and online platforms to online audience. And so anytime they are able to make sales, they will need the logistics people to cover it up. So the e-commerce market, especially in Nigeria, has been tracked to be $8.53 billion. So if that kind of amount, and what is it, Nigeria's e-commerce market size is estimated as 8.53 billion in 2024, and then is expected to reach 4.92 billion by 2029. That is growing in a capacity of 11.82%. So based on this, at the rate at which e-commerce, talking about new people are coming in, there are many people that are still yet to know how to open an online store and to make sales, and more trainings and sensitizations are going on, and people are getting to know more about how to sell online, and they are creating their stores online. And as they continue to increase, there will still be a more need for this new set of entrepreneurs and business vendors that are coming online to make their sales, to need the services of logistics people. So they are growing in the same frequency as e-commerce is growing. Logistics services that will help them to fulfill their orders are also growing. So you can imagine the massive money that is being flooded and flowing around this marketplace. 8.53 billion is all for grasp. You can't leave it all for the people that are already inside there. So you should be thinking about how to fix in yourself, how to get into this value chain so that you can plug in for you to also get a share of this 8.5 billion, of which we are saying that the capacity is increasing in by 11.82% annually. So by the coming year, this 8.53 billion is going to increase by 11.82 billion. So you can imagine the possibilities that are inside, that you will be doing yourself a great dissatisfaction by not plugging into this well of opportunity. Now, what is logistics and delivery service? When we want to define it as a concept. So logistics is the process of planning, executing the efficient transportation and storage of goods from the point of origin to the point of consumption. The goal of a logistics is to meet customer requirements in a timely, cost-effective manner. It actually is the factor that facilitates the distribution process in the chain of production. This is the most concise definition and explanation of the concept definition of the term of logistics. So everything that has to do with movement and transportation of goods or materials from the point of origin to where it's actually needed finally, and every of the stops, and talking about the storage too. So every of the distribution process that it goes through, logistics talks about planning and then organizing the process of these movements. And there are different sections of all these activities that it entails, and for each of the fractions and the compartments, there's always something for you to gain out of the market. Okay, and we proceed. Okay, so there's before you even think about launching into this business, you need to make sure that you do your proper mindset. You need to have the kind of frame of mind or mental shape and attitude that is required for you to succeed in this business. Is very important, because when you are flawed with reference to the mindset that you should go in with, you already signed up for failure even before you start. So the first thing that you need to put in place is your belief and positivity. So one of the major challenges with most people about this logistics business is that they believe more of the lies, and they refuse to believe and accept the truth. For you to succeed in anything, you need to block your ears from the negative, will I call it, views or opinions of people that have failed and might want to only feed your mind with the negative outcome of that business. Rather, you are supposed to look at the positive side. Before we got to this point, I already explained to you the market size and how so much money is in this market, and that you'll be doing yourself so much disjustice by not plugging into it. Those are the kind of things that you should focus your mind on, that will fuel your passion to actually delve into it, instead of dwelling on the challenges or the negative aspect of the business. You should dwell more on the possibilities and the positive side of the business because they're actually true. You more you believe in the right and the positive aspect of the business, the more you are fueled, the more you are motivated, the more you are encouraged to take that step and even surmount whatever challenges that is going to be encountered on the way. So number two, you need to have the right information and knowledge. So this is why you are actually here, to acquire the right and necessary information and knowledge that will guide and empower and equip you to succeed in this business. And once you get it, nothing can stop you, I assure you. So it's very important. So number two thing is having the right information and the right knowledge, which are like the lamp or the lights that will order your steps right. Because when you don't have the right information, that's where you make a lot of errors that are not only financially costly but both time and many other valuable resources that are going to be lost on the way. So number three, fear of losing. I need you to understand some people have this mindset about always being scared of losing. We talked about that's like a negative mindset. They only think about what if this happens and I lose so and so money and all that. This have kept many people down from venturing and taking advantage of great opportunities that have presented themselves. Somebody defined the definition of poor as uh, passing over opportunities repeatedly. So that's what keeps people poor. So because they tend to let opportunity pass them by over and over again because they let their fears of the negative possible outcome to overcloud them, and they make them redundant from taking the necessary risk or step that could change their lives positively. So I advise you do away with fear. Then number four, pride. So I don't know why you would be feeling too big or high class to do errands and delivery jobs when you are in poverty and suffering serious lack. But the business is a cash generating machine. In this business, you need to remove pride, or rather take pride in it if you must keep the pride. So what I'm trying to say is that many people, they look at it as a menial job, or that something that is demeaning or condescending for their status. Well, I'm really surprised of what status you are trying to protect or you are trying to measure up to, and you don't have any money in your account, or you don't have any money and you are struggling to pay your bills, and you're having to call so and so people to sort you out for urgent 2k. You need to remove your pride and go into this business with all your heart and your strength. So number five, we talk about proper planning. These are the things that you need to have in place in your mindset. You need to know that for you to succeed, planning and effective execution makes the difference ultimately between people who have results and those who don't. This business needs good thinking, good planning, and fast action. Be ready and set your heart right for it, and definitely you will succeed. So basically, some people could have good goals and objectives, but if your plan is not well mapped out and articulated, despite you having good goals, good dreams for the business, you may not really achieve the result you're expecting. So you must put work into proper planning and mapping out your framework and strategy to make sure that you are getting the expected result out of the business. And lastly, but not the least, your association is very critical. So you need to make sure that you are working with the right people. Working with the wrong people can pollute and drain and discourage and distract you. That is why you have this group. That is why you have my exclusive uh, mentorship platform, where you have your classmates or your fellow participants in this training who you guys share the same goals, similar goals and objective of what you want to achieve or the results you want to get from enrolling in this class. and then it helps to create the same atmosphere, and then it helps to breed focus since you are working with people that have similar uh, ideas and dreams and all that with reference to what they want to achieve. And then you have mentors too and other partners which you are going to be introduced to. So the idea is to make sure that you are very deliberate about surrounding yourself with people that will only inspire you and give you the right information that is required for you to succeed in this business. It's very, very critical. So we proceed. So there are different segments and service stream that you can use to earn on this logistics business because it's actually wide. So I'm going to try and list them out. So you could choose to do one, or you could choose to focus on two, or you could choose to focus on three, or as many as they are, depending on your capacity. But I would advise that you start off with one, and then as your capacity begins to increase and expand, you can now continue to delve into other segments of the list of services that are available in the logistics business. So first of all, we'll talk about haulage. Haulage talks about movement of large volume of products. So usually for manufacturing companies, these are the people that you offer haulage services to. People that have large volume of products to move from one place to. So that's haulage. So uh, the next is relocation services. So you could either focus on haulage, that's talking about manufacturing companies or the people that have large volume of products to move around. If you feel that you can't do that, you can focus on relocation. Relocation talks about people that want to move from a particular location, or they need to move their properties as the case may be. It could be for household, that's people that are living in a particular location, they want to relocate to another place, or people that already have an office, they are using a particular office space and then they got a new office space, so they want to move their furnitures and the fittings and everything there. So there are people that they call movers. So you can focus on what we call moving services. That's also like relocation. So aside that, there's parcel. Some people focus only on delivering parcels. Parcels talking about documents, talking about letters, talking about all those things. And most of those parcels, uh, I don't really want to go into details, but there are some peculiarities with delivering parcels. So some people focus on only delivering parcels, so you can actually decide to focus on that. Then we'll talk about food. Food delivery, especially now, has become another game changer in the logistics business. You can see people like Glovo, you can see people like Chowdeck, and many of all these delivery service this thing that focus on food delivery, because many restaurants are coming up, even the other fast food that are already trending, they are all gaining traction into this market. So you can key into food delivery. Some people, that's what they specialize on. We talk about the next, express delivery. There are some people that they have time bound. Maybe say they have somebody that is about to travel in next 1 hour, in next 2 hours, you need somebody to meet up. There are some people you can decide that you need to focus on just express delivery, and people are willing to pay times two or times three of the normal delivery if they know that you can meet up a specific deadline. So there are some people that focus on meeting those deadlines, because if you use normal delivery service people, they may not be able to meet up those deadlines because they have so many jobs on their hands. So you can key into that space that people need to pick up and deliver something within a given time frame, and then you could charge them so much. So we have interstate delivery, talking about delivering across states. So you can decide to focus on that. Then we talk about affiliate or middleman for the service. So you might not be interested in offering either haulage or any of all these things, but you know people that offer it, and then you also know people that need those services. So you can just be like a middleman to refer or to outsource the jobs that you get to the people that can offer those services, and then the margin on it becomes your profit. So we'll talk about consulting. So some people are interested in this business but they don't know how to go about it. I think I had a colleague of mine where I was working in Guarantee Trust back at the time. So he saw how well I started doing, as God is helping us in the business. So he said he's interested in trying to launch into the same business. So he needed guidance on how to go about it, the registration of the company, acquisition of office materials, employment of staff, marketing and getting customers, and establishing the structure for the operations, acquiring dispatch bikes and vehicles, and every of the procedures that is required to set up and successfully run this business. So offering such services to help guide people on how to successfully launch it can be an area that you can decide to focus on. It's called consulting. And then training, which is what I'm doing for you now. So when you finish learning, you could also decide to extend the gesture and train someone else for a fee. So it's still the same thing. You can decide to train people, either physical training or maybe through recorded training session. And then warehousing and inventory. Like we talked about, that logistics talks about the movement and transportation of goods, talking about the whole distribution. And we also talk about storage. So managing and planning the whole process of storing and moving items and materials and products, as the case may be. So in the chain of the logistics operation, you could decide to focus on storage. So people are willing to pay you, especially these e-commerce people, instead of always coming to meet come and pick up from them. They could give you a large volume of their product that their customers are always ordering for you to have it in your custody, so that anytime they get orders they will just send it to you, and from the stock that you have with you, you go and deliver. So they pay for those storage services that you are providing for them, to make proximity to their customers easy, instead of the customers coming to them. Imagine talking about warehousing services. So some people, clients or vendors, are willing to pay premium on logistic services that will offer them warehousing and inventory services. Warehousing, talking about storage, and in the order and the right arrangement, well organized storage of their product, and then inventory, keeping track and record of the stock and giving updates to you as orders are being fulfilled. So people are willing to pay for that services, especially because it helps to reduce the time that it takes to get to the customer, and then it also reduces the cost, because for the customer to have to pay a delivery fee for that distance. Imagine when the vendor is at somewhere like Bauchi, and then his customer that is supposed to deliver the product to is in Lagos, and then the product is only 4,000 naira, but then the logistics or the transportation fee is 10,000 naira. Is enough to discourage him. But if there is a warehouse facility in Lagos that is close to where the customer is, it will reduce the delivery fee, and then it will help to facilitate sales. So e-commerce customers, vendors and all that are willing to make payments for logistic people that can provide those services. So aside that, you can also be an affiliate for every of all these services that I just mentioned. You might not be able to do consulting, you might not be able to do training, you might not even be able to do the warehousing and inventory. But if you have people that can offer any of all these services, you just position yourself as the middleman. Get people that are in need of these services, add your price on it, and then outsource the job to the people that can offer any of all these services that are listed: haulage, relocation, parcel, food, whatever it is. Just have people that can offer any of all these services. get the customers or the clients that need these services, top up your price on what they charge, and then outsource the job to them. So that is what it means to do drop servicing for training, for consulting, for warehousing, and any of that as the case may be. So we proceed. There are different people, department, organization that create opportunities for us. So which people are we serving actually? Who are the people that make job available for us as logistics people? Because these are the people that are your target markets. Because when you don't know your target market, you will struggle to make sales, you will struggle to find jobs. So here I'm going to list out the people that your eyes supposed to be looking out for as the people that you are looking out to serve or to offer this your logistics services. So number one, we talk about the e-commerce and online shop vendors. People that have stores online and send things online. Those are number one set of people that need logistics services, and they are the people that create opportunities and jobs for us. Number two, event planners and organizers. People that organize events, because those event places they always have to move things to that place. They move the speaker, they move the tent or the canopy, they move the food, they move the plates. You can imagine they move everything that is required for that event, and after that event is over, they need to also move those things back to where they got it from. So anybody that is into events, it needs logistic service, like so you need to merge yourself with them. Marketing executives, like people that focus on what we call product activation. When you sometimes when you go out, you see people doing advert or campaign and all that. So they need logistics people to move them around as they are doing their businesses. There are products that they need to carry about to show people or to advertise. So anybody that is into marketing and promotional services need logistics people to help convey them to the different markets where they want to do exhibition or where they want to showcase or promote their products. So you could align yourself with these people. Procurement departments in every organization, they are the people that are in charge of making acquisition of all the materials and all the tools and all the stationaries that is being used in that organization. And when it is a very big organization or institution, this procurement department makes order for these materials in bulk and large quantities, and so they will need logistics people to move it from the place of procurement or purchase to their particular office location. So if you can connect with all the procurement department people that are working in major organization, that could be a very major breakthrough for you. So we also have manufacturers, people that have different products that they are manufacturing, and they need their products either distributed to their distributors or to their retailers or to or the final consumers as the case may be. They need logistics people. We have farmers, from the farmland they need to move out the products either to the place of second production or to people that are going to manufacture it to finished products, or to the market where they have to sell it directly to the consumers, or even to buy plant feed, or what do they calling it, fertilizers and all that, and move it to the farm and every of all those things. So we have the importers and exporters. The lists are endless, up to even cargo and transport company. So even in this logistics business that we are into, there are still different sections and segments. So we have people that do cargo. So if somebody decides to send something from Europe and he puts it in plane, that is cargo, and the thing comes into Nigeria and stops at Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos State, there will still be a need to move it from that airport to the particular person's destination who ordered it from Europe. So you see that you still need logistics people. And in this time, you are going to be working with cargo companies, you are going to be working with airlines, you are going to be working with transport companies that move it from a particular point to a point where you will now pick it up from and now take it to the final consumer. So These are the different people, different departments that create opportunities for logistics business to thrive. So looking at all these things, you can decide where and with whom you are going to align yourself with to make sure you make sales. Okay, the essence and the purpose of logistics services. What is the need? What do we want to achieve by enacting this logistics service? So number one, I want to bridge the gap between production and the reaching the hands of the consumers primarily. So the movement of the process and the procedures it takes to move from the origin point to the point of the final consumers. We want to make it seamless, we want to make it fast, we want to make it safe. Number two, we want to save costs. We're also saving costs for both the manufacturer or the originator and the receiver. So they could also have time to do other things. We also want to increase customer satisfaction through speed of delivery. Even if, for instance, I want to give you an example like Indomie Noodles Company that has a manufacturing company decides that they also want to have um, buses or whatever. They even have buses, but the buses that they have is not even sufficient enough to meet up delivery for all the orders that they get for the product that they manufacture. So if they are not able to meet up particular time frame of delivery for all the billions of people that are eating indomie in this country, the satisfaction, talking about timeliness, will be reduced. So that's where logistics and delivery service people comes in. They make it fast, then to make it convenient for both the seller and the customers. For the sellers, the convenience means that you are going to be removed of the burden of trying to stress yourself about that delivery. You focus on your major area, which is to make the product ready and in the right quality, while you leave the other responsibility for reaching the final consumers to the logistics people. And for the customers, they also ease themselves or convenience to just stay in the comfort of their home and then place order for a particular product, and then they get it delivered to them even without stepping an inch or step out of the comfort of their home. So it's about convenience. Those are the things that we are providing. Okay. So before you say you want to go into this business, there are some things that you need to meet up with, some of the requirements you need before you can launch successfully. So I want to outline the number one, you need to create a corporate identity, especially if you want to go into it big time and you really want to make serious money from it. You need to create a corporate identity. When I'm talking about corporate identity, your business name, your business logo, do you understand, your brand look, and every of all those things that make you look like a corporate brand. Then number two, you need to get government approved license. That is your CAC, and then maybe your NIPOST uh, uh, levy, no, your NIPOST license that will allow you to be able to operate freely in that business environment. Number three, you may need an office. Well, you may not need an office at first, but as you grow and expand to get to a level of trust and confidence from your clients, especially corporate clients that might want to be giving you large volume of jobs, you will need an office space that will make you look more respectful or more responsible. Then number four, your online presence is very important. You're supposed to have stationed your presence of your brand on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You have your WhatsApp business page, and every of all these social media platforms that gives you presence and visibility. That also tends to put a level of trust about you in the mind of your prospective clients. Then you need to have your smartphone, of course. We cannot overemphasize that. So either your smartphone, your tablet, or your laptop. Okay, you also need a bike that duly registered. Either it's yours or the your partnering institutions. So you have bikes that are duly registered with complete documentation to operate as courier, covering your operation territory. What do I mean by that? For every territory, like in Lagos, they have different paper requirements, regulatory requirement for dispatch services, which is different from Ogun State, which is different from Ebonyi State. So for each of the territory or the different local governments, even within that same territory, there are different papers that they are requesting or requiring that you must have in order to operate. If not, if you don't have those papers, you will not easily, because they'll always be stopping you and obstructing your movement. Then bus or truck duly registered with complete documentation to operate as a courier. So these are the things that you must have in place before you think of starting or launching. Okay. Some of the things that you need to be careful about in this business is very important, because in every business there's always the advantage and disadvantages. So this want to outline are the things that you must be careful about to make sure that you don't run at a loss and you don't get into troubles when you are doing this business. Number one is proper record, both either written record or photo record. It's very important because sometimes the material, some people can deny that, okay, this is what I gave you, this is what you picked up, but the receiver is saying that what he got is something different. How do you vindicate yourself that this is what I actually picked up from you? You need to have it written somewhere and have somebody acknowledge that, yes, this is what I'm giving you. And when you get to the delivery point also, it must also be that this person is acknowledging that, yes, so it's the same thing he picked up from me that is given to me, and that there is no, will I call it, pilfering or changing on the way. Many people have gotten into trouble because of that. So you need to have good documentation so that you can have it as a proof in case something goes wrong. Either customer or client is claiming that his parcel has been changed on transit. So number two, you need to do insurance on both the riders and the vehicle and the business. These three things: your riders, the vehicle or the bike, and the business, to cover up for losses. One interesting thing about the wisdom of mankind is, which they have been introduced into different disciplines. One of those disciplines are in accounting. Accounting talks about making provision for bad debts. That's looking and expecting that it's possible that some of your client or customers can run into serious trouble and they will not be able to pay you the money that they owe you. Then, like I was saying, your insurance must cover the rider, must cover the vehicle, and cover the business. We talk about provision for bad debt, provision for bad and doubtful debt, as in what accounting principle teaches. So that's to look ahead and expect that it's possible that you could have customers or you could have clients that are, what they call it, that may not be able to meet up with deliveries, with payment for product that they purchase for you on credit. And then if something like that happens, let your business not enter into trouble. The money you'll be setting aside will cover up for that. So the same way, you need to have insurance for your riders, so that in case something happens to your rider, either he has accident on the course of delivery, those monies is not from now from your normal office or your business money you will use to treat him. You have already registered him with a hospital under insurance policy. They will cover up for those treatments, no matter the level. If you like, let it be that his leg that break, they will fix it without you paying any big money. Number two, if your vehicle, either your motor or your machine, either they got stolen or accident destroy it, because of proper insurance, they can give you money to replace it. The next thing is about your business itself, the business you are doing. If something happens, you need insurance to protect your business because you are dealing with people's valuable. It can get lost on the way, it can get damaged on the way. Something people can steal it on the way, and if something like that happens, you are supposed to pay your client that you pick up that thing from. And then if you don't have the money, depending on how valuable those things are, you'll be at a serious trouble. So that's the reason why you need to have all these insurance policies in place to secure yourself and make necessary provision. Number three, reduce late night delivery as much as possible. This is very critical, especially depending on the kind of valuable items. Times are bad at this time, so bad people are always taking advantage of the night and the dark period to, will I call it, to rob the riders ahead of the valuables that they are delivering. So you don't want to be a victim of that. Then find out about peculiar permit and levies to enter some areas. There are some areas even within a state that we have all these touts that are they are molesting people, riders ahead. So if you don't have their permit or their levies, and then your rider tries to do a delivery in that location, they could harass him, they could beat him, they could even vandalize the things that you have. So make sure you find out about particular area, and if they have some permits that they need for you to be able to get into that place to do business is very important. You also need to ensure that your partners, that's the people, if you decide to work with delivery agents or companies, that they are duly registered and also have insurance on their businesses, because the customers or the clients that are giving you their product don't know that you are not dealing directly with their customers. They don't know that you are outsourcing the job to another person. So if you are going to outsource it, you are still going to be responsible for whatever negative outcome that comes out of it. So you need to do your due diligence to ensure that your partners' businesses are duly registered and they also have insurance. Then finally, if you decide to have delivery agents or riders that are working for you, you need to make sure that they have guarantors. Yes, your riders must have guarantors and proper legal documentation of the employment contract to protect yourself and to make sure that the terms of service and transaction is well outlined and covered up for both ends. I think we come to the end of this class, so you have some exercises that you are going to go through, and then you post your answers and your responses on our Facebook group Thrivehood. So you should okay, caution and precaution. Okay, I think we have talked about this. Okay, so I think that's the end. So we are going to drop those exercises. You go through them and then drop your answers in the group. Or just check the WhatsApp group to see the questions. Then you post your answers on the Facebook group at Thrivehood. So I'll see you in the next section for chapter 2 on the same course. Thank you.